This is so frustrating. All right, what about now? Can you guys hear me now? Looks like you guys probably can. All right, I'm going to assume you guys can. Hopefully somebody in the chat will let me know. I'm so sorry. I should have tested my equipment. I actually pulled the microphone off so I could do. I think it's unmuted now. Oh, okay, good. You guys can hear me. Okay. Anyway, point is, sorry guys. we're, we're an awesome show and we're doing. I'm only a few minutes into the thing. Like first couple of minutes. No, you guys don't want to hear me anyway. You just want to see me create art. Anyway. What you guys missed is that I went into this whole explanation about how I've been playing with charcoal and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I'm going to experiment with charcoal today, drawing Wednesday Addams, which hopefully you guys see on your screen, and go from there. I also said I can't promise that anything is going to turn out great today because, I'm not very familiar with charcoal. In fact, I've only done like 2 drawings with charcoal before in my entire life. But I am enjoying the style of charcoal. I'm enjoying what I created this morning. And I'm going to try to do Wednesday Addams, and we'll see how it goes. All right, sorry about the audio issues. I'm not very good at what I do. All right, so anyway, let's get started with Wednesday Addams. So one of the things that's different about what I'm doing today is, as you can see, there's no sketch here. I don't have any guidelines drawn. I'm not going to draw any guidelines in pencil. I'm just going to start throwing down some charcoal hopefully pretty quickly. And hopefully like a picture will emerge from it. Now, the problem is that picture I was showing you guys of Wednesday Addams is pretty famous. Like a lot of people know what Wednesday Addams looks like. So I have a big challenge to try to capture the likeness of Wednesday Addams. And I don't feel very confident that I'm going to do that. So I just want to throw out the disclaimer that I am experimenting here and I don't expect, miracles. So I'm going to start with just kind of like some dots here to kind of like let me know where I kind of want this picture to be. I want it to kind of cut off like somewhere around here. It does look like my camera is even running a little slow, so that sucks. Man, just all kinds of technical issues here. Let's see, encoding overloaded, great. Let's see what I can do here about that. So I had internet issues earlier in the week as well, because it's been super windy around here. I don't know how to make this. Let me make it smaller. See if I did this. See if it'll catch up. Anyway, it doesn't look like the camera is recording in real time, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, as you can see, I am putting in some kind of guidelines. But anyway, I just kind of want to, I don't want to like focus too much on where my lines are going here. I just kind of want to just quickly lay down some. And this process is kind of messy, and it's called expressive art, where you're not really going for like hyper realistic or anything like that. You're just kind of having fun trying to create a form out of maybe out of chaos. But I don't want to use that because some other guy who works in charcoal calls it creating form out of chaos. But anyway, just kind of like putting in some shadows where I think there might be face later. Of course, my camera's all messed up, so like you guys are like severely behind, but that's okay. We're just gonna press through. Audio messed up. Camera's not working properly. It's fine. I am recording this so you guys can watch it later. It's all good. All right, so you guys can't see it, but I've got Got some stuff on the page. It's gonna blend it a little bit. I'm not too worried about how this looks at this point. There's gonna be an ugly phase in this for real. But the idea is maybe I can find a face in here somewhere. Just want to kind of figure out where shadows might be, proportions, where parts of her face might be. Gotta trust the process, as they say. But you guys have seen artwork that I've done kind of like this, where you just kind of create a mess and you try to find a face in it. I made a video recently talking about how it's kind of like watching clouds and, you know, seeing dinosaurs in the clouds, things like that. I've never done this with charcoal, by the way. So I don't know if the process works in charcoal when I don't have any experience in it, but we'll see how it goes. So on the right side of her face, it's very much cast in shadow. So I'm spending a lot of time putting in shades over there. But I'm definitely not focusing on detail at this point. Yeah, it's going to be very abstract. Expressive, as they call it. But I'm definitely not focusing on detail here. I'm just kind of deciding where her head shape might be, where her mouth might be. Where her nose might be. And then I'll kind of worry about detail later if I think the proportions are right. But again, this is just experimenting, so I'm not even sure I'm concerned about proportions. I just want to practice this technique. Because it's a lot of fun. I like making a mess. Yeah, it's going to be a little scary. It's going to be very dark. But, you know, it's Wednesday Addams. She's a scary chick. I think she would approve. Yeah, it does. It kind of looks like a ghost maybe coming out of the page. You should see the one I did earlier. I think it's, I set it to like be scheduled for like 4 o'clock my time, which is the East Coast or Eastern time zone. I don't actually live on the coast. I live in Kentucky, but in fact, we're not that far away from Central time zone. But anyway, it is the Eastern time zone here in the United States. If you're from another country, like Just Dave is. So that one kind of looks really dark until the end. And this is going to look really dark until the end because, you know, you start by putting in all the dark values and then you try to bring out some of the light areas. That's kind of the process. So, you know, you start with all your really heavy shadow tones and then, you know, you try to work in some midtones and then, you know, last but not least, do you even worry about, you know, your highlights or whatever. So it's going to be pretty dark, but that's the reason why I wanted to do Wednesday Addams. One, it's Wednesday. And then today, you know, not Wednesday the person, but it is Wednesday the day. So I thought, hey, why not? But also, I think Wednesday Addams would look really cool in this style. That's my hope, at least. I don't even know if it. So the actress who plays Wednesday, Jenna Ortega, she's got very distinctive facial features. So I don't even know if I can capture her likeness, but I'm just going to kind of work it until I do, or at least until I'm satisfied that I can't, you know. It's Experimental Wednesday. So I'm not even worried about the lines at this point because it's going to change over time. All right. So the next part of the process, I don't know if my overhead camera catches up with me talking. Maybe I'll show you here. This is a kneaded eraser. This is an eraser that you can kind of form to like very finer points. And part of this process is laying down a lot of charcoal and then coming back and erasing parts of it to kind of create those highlights. So I see that she's got, you know, a white shirt. She does have a tie on. So I want to erase parts of her shirt just to give her an impression of white. She's got a very lit left side of her face. Well, it would be her right side, but to me it's left. And then there's some highlights on her nose. Of course, you know, she's got some eyes that are in the light. Her eyes definitely reflect the light a lot more than some of the other parts of her face. Let's see. Anyway, it's just experimenting. It's fun, making a mess. Once the video catches up, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm not even sure this is really her face yet, so I'm going to continue working it with more charcoal. So I think she's got more of a like if the actress watches this, she's going to be like, "Oh, you butchered my face," which is true. But you know, like with my other drawings, it's like it's a question of whether or not you can pull a face out of it. Is none of my other pictures look like the person at first. And this is very messy. Like I've got charcoal all over my hands. But it's fun. I like making a mess. The best art is messy art. So again, it's just kind of messing with things until you find what you're looking for. So I think the distance between her head and her eyes, I would say that's about halfway down, and that's about right. Mess that up a little bit. And then I would say her nose is about, so this is, I think I need to move her mouth down some. Or at least her lips. Man, I don't know why my camera is like so far behind. It's probably because I was playing with the microphone. This is pretty much a botched live stream, but that's okay. It's fine. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to this stuff. You know, it's Wednesday afternoon. I don't get a lot of viewers. Well, I don't get a lot of viewers anyway. I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I don't get a lot of viewers, especially on Wednesdays. I think most of my viewers are usually on Fridays. Like Fridays are when we have the most fun, I think. She's got a very angular face, I think. I mean, I'm liking how this is turning out. I wouldn't say it looks like Jenna Ortega yet, but we'll get there, hopefully. Sorry, guys, we're going to be here until this looks like Jenna Ortega, and that might take a little while. Because one of the challenging things to this process is that you can't really draw in guidelines to go by. You kind of have to work them in as you're doing it. Yeah, I do need more. Yeah, I'll get there. Like this is a pretty new channel. I've only been doing this since January, and today is March 1st. So what is that? 3 months? 2 months? Yeah, 2 months. I guess I can't do math. Um, so I'm pretty happy with the progress. I think we're having fun. Plus, to me, it's not really about the viewers. It's about having quality viewers. You guys are nice people coming in here hanging out with me. Rather have 100 of you guys than 100 of assholes. Well, kind of getting there, I think. Not quite there. I'm going to switch to my pencil here and kind of I know some people probably hate that sound. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. I'm surprised you guys can hear anything, considering I screwed up the mic. But it's got kind of like a fingernails on chalkboard kind of sound to it. It turns a lot of people off with these type of dry mediums like pastels and charcoal and stuff like that, but I don't mind it. I actually like it. One of these days, I plan to just grab a stick out of a campfire and see if I can make a picture out of that. Because that's all charcoal basically is, I think. It's just kind of like, burnt wood. Actually, since I live in bourbon country, it would be kind of cool to go and get char from like an oak barrel, which is how they make the bourbon. One of the requirements of making bourbon actually is to use like a charred oak barrel, and it would be kind of cool because like some of the distilleries around here, they actually have pieces of that you can purchase, or I could probably talk somebody into just giving it to me if I tell them what I'm planning on doing with it, and it'd be kind of fun to yeah, like an old barrel. It'd be kind of fun to just like grab that and see if I can make art with it. But as you can see, I'm getting pretty messy here with both my lines and my fingers. My fingers are kind of covered in charcoal at this point, which is cool. It's again, art should be messy. The best art, the fun art is messy. So I feel like we're kind of getting a face out of this now, which is cool. You never know how it's going to go. Just kind of have to trust that. Anyway, I don't mind messing it back up again because, like, I'm really just throwing a bunch of lines around and trying to extract the face out of it until I'm happy with all the portions. So I feel like, all right, so that is about right. But now I need to kind of figure out where things are. So I think her eye would be, I don't mind drawing lines in here because like they'll disappear eventually anyway. Let's see. Like her eyebrow would be up here. Use my pencil just to make sure I kind of have those lined up. Her eyebrows are kind of straight across. She does have a part here. So I'm happy with like her eyes and above. So let me see if I can work in the right portions on her nose. So I think her nose, I think this will look cool, even if it doesn't look like Jenna Ortega exactly. I think people will be able to look at it and be like, oh, it's a chick with black hair wearing a shirt and tie. That must be Wednesday Addams. So I'm not worried about carrying the idea of Wednesday Addams across at this point. I think it's believably Wednesday Addams, but I'm going to continue working it just to see if I can get Jenna Ortega out of it. So I think halfway between the lips. Hey Angela, how's it going? We're having all kinds of technical issues today, but I'm hoping hoping things are working now. I think the video is a little bit delayed. I don't know what happened there. But it's fine. We'll manage. So I think her mouth is somewhere around here. And then I think her nose would kind of be here. Things get really messy. Yeah, I'm trying something new today, Angela. This is experiment day. I've never really worked with charcoal. Like I was thinking last night, like maybe I tried to draw with charcoal like once in my life before. Usually I'm a pencil kind of guy, like a graphite pencil kind of guy. So this is kind of new for me, but I've been playing with pastels a lot, and my thought was that, well, what's the difference, right? It's like if I can do one, I can do the other. Um, so I'm experimenting with charcoal, and then if it works out, I might try to combine charcoal and pastels and see what I can do from with that. But yeah, it's definitely experimentation Wednesday, where I'm experimenting on Wednesday. But this part of the process is just basically adding shadows and then removing shadows just to see if I can get the basic um, likeness of Wednesday in here. And then we'll come back and worry about like details. Right now, I'm just kind of mostly focused on the shadowed areas and to a lesser degree the midtones. I'm not so much worried about highlights because I feel like that'll change as I go along. I mean, to me, it's kind of looking like her face a bit. You guys are like, what the hell are you smoking? Um, so, like, in my mind, we're getting there, or at least the proportions are getting close. So, I think that her shirt collar would be below the eye. Well, I don't know about brave. Like, I kind of lack that trait that most people have where they're embarrassed. like like I guess I don't know. I'm a bit of an introvert with a little bit of social anxiety, so I feel like I'm always embarrassed to just be me. So I wouldn't call it brave. It's just you know, I don't care about failing in public because I'm just having fun anyway. So to me, it really doesn't matter if things don't turn out right. Like the audio and camera issues I have today, it's not a big deal. All right. See if I can refine this a little bit more. So what I like about charcoal in this process where you're constantly adding um, shadows and then removing shadows is it really creates like this soft image that, again, I think is great for Wednesday Addams and Jenna Ortega because she has very soft features in her face. Like there's at least the pictures that they've been putting into the marketing material. I don't know why I'm still doing Wednesday Addams. It's been like how many months since the show came out? But I don't know. I'm not the only one. Other people are doing Wednesday Addams pictures as well. So there's still an interest, at least from an artist's perspective. Anyway, oh, my point was that all the marketing images that they put out, they're very soft focused. There's no like hard lines or anything like that in any of these pictures. I think I think we're getting close to resembling her. Like the video is a little bit delayed from what I see, but starting to see a mouth forming here. Which I had a there we go. Oh yeah, it gets all over my hands, Richard. Like whenever the video catches up, you like I'm showing basically black hands here. Like whenever I do this stuff, the first thing I do immediately after is I go and wash my hands. But that's fine. I don't mind dirty hands. It's part of the joy. I don't know. I think this looks pretty good. There's some really bad Wednesday Adam pictures out there that people have done and posted on the internet. So I'm like, oh, that stuff isn't terrible. Pretty happy with it so far. Let's see. Got that soft look that I wanted, so that's good. So I don't know about this nose. Play with that a little bit. Let's see, how can I form a nose out of this chaos? Is that about right? Is that what her nose would be? I'm having conversations with my drawing. So some of you guys do drawings as well, like do art. I mean, I feel like most people would who watch this show or watch art shows in general. I don't know. Maybe you guys just come here to watch me for some strange reason. But for those of you who do also do art, I'm wondering, do you guys have conversations with your art? I'm often talking to my pictures as I'm making them. I recognize that that's a little weird, but I don't know. I talk to my dogs sometimes too, and they can't talk back. So how's that any different in my mind? I don't know. Maybe I'll do a poll. Is it weird? I don't know how to do a poll. Never mind. Um, just an informal poll. Is it weird to talk to your drawings? I don't think so, in the grander scheme of things. Definitely weirder things in the world. Is it weird to talk to yourself? I do that often too. Sometimes I like to go for walks. I'm a big hiker as an exercise kind of person, and I find that when I go for walks, I talk to myself a lot. Cool. All right, so now I need to try and figure out if I can get some eyes out of this somehow. Let me play with the nose a little bit more. See, I like this. I like this style, like where you come in and you add your tones, and then you come back with like this kneadable eraser and kind of work that a little bit. A lot of fun. And I think it's really good for creating these soft pictures. And the just playing with the kneadable eraser is fun as well. I think I need to get a new one. This one's all covered with, I'm gonna call it soot. All covered with soot. Looks like a rock star. I mean, she's been she's been all over the place. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just my feed, but she's been like all over TikTok. Her dance has been really popular. All right, so I'm going to try and work some eyes out of this. So the one that's cast in the shadow, I'm not too worried about, but you know, there is some white in her eyes, and I need to be able to bring that out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Soften some of this up a bit. So I think I need to bring her eyebrows down some. A bit of good light over here. Sorry, just talking to myself again. So I definitely need to work on those eyes a little bit to make it look more like her. But I'm not unhappy with how things are looking so far. Definitely need to bring her eyebrows down some. Need some work. Man, this video is like way far back, I think. Like you guys are, I don't know, pretty far back. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Oh, now my freaking camera went out. That's not good. 1 second. Man, I don't even know why I'm doing the live stream today. I'm having all these technical issues. Let me try and fix this. Let's see. All right. Hey, well, at least it fixed the camera. Camera's caught up. All right. As you can see, I've been making some progress. Jeez. It's was a cacophony of errors. Gremlins. There you go. Ah, one of those days, I guess. But at least you're caught up on the camera now. You can see I've been tinkering. Let's see. Bring her hair around. So I've got more work to do on those eyes. I'm not happy with those. But I think it kind of has a little bit of a resemblance to Wednesday slash Jenna Ortega. So I'm not completely unhappy with the way things are looking now. I'm going to try and define it a little bit more and see if I can get a little bit closer to what I have in mind. But it's not bad. Just needs work. I feel like you guys are judging me again. Why are you guys always judging me? I'm just kidding. Yeah, the real problem with doing famous pictures is that everybody knows what the person's supposed to look like, and it's a lot easier when you just do something that nobody really knows what you're doing, right? So like, I feel like it looks like a person. So if you guys didn't know what she looked like already, I don't know. Maybe you guys never saw the show. Maybe you guys have no idea who this is. That's pretty funny. Um, but anyway, my point is, when you're doing something that everybody can easily recognize as a famous person, it becomes a little bit more challenging to to convince people that you have created the correct proportions and all of that stuff. If it's somebody nobody's ever heard of, or you just pick, grab some random photo off the internet, or you're just drawing some stranger that you met at like a bus stop or something, you can get away with a lot more because nobody knows. And when you're first like learning to draw or trying a new medium, you probably shouldn't tackle famous pictures because you will undoubtedly disappoint some people. But you guys know me, I like to challenge myself. I like to try doing things that I'm not comfortable with. So even though I just started working with charcoal, I'm like, yeah, let's do this super famous person that everybody has seen pictures of because for some reason everybody's drawing Wednesday Addams all the time. So she's got these high cheekbones, and I feel like I can just kind of put those in here using this eraser. And she's got kind of like jowls. She's watching this, which I seriously doubt. Sorry to say you have jowls, but you do. Everybody does. It needs some work, but it's starting to look like her, I think. Oh, and yes, I do get charcoal all over my hands. That's just part of the process. I've got like a a little washcloth over here that I'll probably wash my hands off with here in a minute. Let me grab that. Yuck. Yep, happy Wednesday. All right, let's see. Am I happy with the way everything's looking to where I feel comfortable putting in detail? So like, just to explain the process. So you kind of start with this big old mess, this chaos as people have described it, and then you try to form a face out of it. And once you're happy with your proportions and where everything is, which I think I'm getting to the point where I'm like, well, it is what it is at this point. Then you can worry about details. You definitely don't worry about details in the beginning because you don't really know if, like, I mean, at this point, if I really wanted to, I could move her eye. You know, I could like scooch it over a little bit if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that because I think this is good enough, at least for this experiment. But I could, you know, if I wanted to, I could just move her eye because I haven't put in a lot of details to where I'm really worried about that. Um, so you always save the details for the end of it. And I'm not too worried about details over here in the shadow area, even though the original picture maybe isn't as shadowed as what I've got going on over here. I'm pretty happy with tones in here to where I don't mind diverging from it. I think it's kind of cool. Anyway, this is the kind of art that like I'm not all that great at it yet, but I'm trying because I feel like I keep coming back to authentic experiences. So what I like about working in charcoal and pastels, I mentioned this before, is that, you know, it kind of feels like you could be a caveman pulling a stick out of the fire or grabbing some clay out of the earth and you're making art, right? So like I kind of like that aspect to it. And I kind of like the fact that this feels more like traditional art. Um, and I mentioned before, I feel very comfortable working digitally, you know, like in Photoshop or Illustrator to create artwork. And I have before. But to me, that's not as fun as this kind of stuff, where I feel like, you know, anybody can pick a stick out of the fire and start creating art. And I like the whole tactile. Um, I think I'm using that word right. I don't know. The whole tactile aspect to it, where you know you got your hands dirty. You can feel the paper. You can feel the grittiness of the charcoal. That kind of stuff. That kind of stuff appeals to me. I know it's not for everybody, but for me, I do enjoy that aspect of it. And when I'm doing stuff like this, I feel like I'm creating more authentic art. Oh, I love that squeaky noise. Everybody else on the internet is like, "Oh, I hate that noise," but no, I love it. Anyway, again, I'm not too worried about details over here in this shadow area because I want people's eye to be drawn to the lighter side. A little bit. But, you know, since we're over here, might as well try and get an eye out of it. Now, there are some strands of hair through here. Try to get those in here with this eraser. But I also have a white pastel pencil that I might use for some of these hair strands. You're not really doing entire strands of hair or actual strands of hair anyway. It's more like a suggestion of hair strands. So she has some refracted light. I think that's the right term, where light isn't actually directly on her. It's more reflected off of something else. I kind of want to put that in there. I mean, to me, at least the right side of her is starting to look a little bit like her. She's got more shadow down here, so I'm just gonna put that back in. She's got I don't want to talk bad about her because I think she's a very pretty girl, but she's kind of has a very she's got a chin like mine. Hey Packer, how's it going? Yeah, it's Wednesday on Wednesday. I'm experimenting with a different medium today. I've never really worked with charcoal or this kind of expressive style. So it's a experimentation Wednesday as well as just actually drawing Wednesday. But I'm liking how it's turning out. I think it looks pretty good. At least on this side, which I feel like is more developed than the other side, which I'm going to work on presently. How you doing, Packer? So let's see if I need to erase. I don't know if this kneadable eraser, look at this mess I've made. You got charcoal all over the place, got it all in my hands. I'm gonna take a swig of coffee. All right, so somehow I need to erase beneath this pupil. And I need to get that white value back in here. Again, I have a plan B, which is my pastel pencil, but I don't really want to use that yet. I think that that's more for like highlights, like really high highlights. I'd rather, that looks terrible right now. Don't worry, it's not going to stay like that. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's good. So this part comes down like this, I think, according to my reference photo. Grab this little small smudge thing. So you see the tools I'm using, by the way. It's just three simple tools, maybe a fourth for a highlight. But you have a charcoal pencil, you have a kneadable eraser, you have like a charcoal stick, you have a pretty large smudge stick, and then a small smudge stick. And that's it, you know. And I like that. I think that's cool that you can create, you know, hopefully convincing picture. I think it, I think it's convincing adjacent. So like somebody might come in and say they have an infatuation with Jenna Ortega and this doesn't match the image of her that they have in their mind. I may not be able to convince those people, but people who have just like a passing interest in Wednesday Addams. Um, but like they might be fooled by my artwork into thinking this is the real Jenna Ortega, or that it's a photo of Jenna Ortega. uh, I'm not really going for hyperrealism here, so a photo is not what I'm after. Looking maybe for like a more stylized picture that kind of resembles a little bit the person that is supposed to. Just kind of removing some of that eyebrow that I had kind of misplaced earlier. I got an itch on my forehead, but I can't scratch it because I'm gonna get charcoal all over my face. Luckily, I mean, I gotta work on the lighting for these Wednesday Wednesday afternoons because like this side of my face is completely drained. I need to get better lighting. I'm a I'm a cheapskate, so I haven't bought all the proper equipment that I need. Like I feel like I can get a better camera. I just don't want to pay for it. And so I haven't done that. I don't know. The problem is I'm not actually selling art, so this channel is unfunded. So when it comes to equipment and things like that, I don't I don't buy maybe the things that I need to buy because I don't know, I'm just cheap. I'm a cheap bastard. But yeah, I probably need better lighting. I probably need better cameras. Probably need more artistic skill. Yeah, charcoal mustache. It's not mustache. It's the I don't know what that's called, but that's what it is. Girls don't have mustaches. Or I don't know, some of them do. Some girls have mustaches. That is the true story. I mean, I, I'm thinking this kind of looks like Jenna Ortega. I don't want to speak too soon because I still have plenty of room to mess this up. But so far, I'm not completely unhappy with it. Speaking of which, it does help when you guys like and subscribe. So I think everybody in here is already subscribed, but don't forget to don't forget to hit that like button so that when people go looking for pictures of Jenna Ortega, they find my shitty broadcast. And they're like, why is he talking for like 5 minutes and I can't hear him? No, I think what I'll do is after this is over, I'm not going to delete it. I like these live streams. I like the comments that you guys make and stuff. They're a lot of fun. But I think I might cut like I don't know, like a 4 minute version of this or something. I always do the shorts, which is fun. The time lapses, just because people seem to enjoy those. But I might actually do a version of this that is a little bit longer than a short. The shorts I do are like 30 seconds. So maybe something a little bit longer than that. I don't know. I did the one of the horse like 4 minutes or something. That seemed to be cool. Whatever the song is. So like I feel like with this I might pick a cool song and if it's like 2, 3 minutes or whatever, I'll do a 2, 3 minute version of this or whatever. Yeah, thumbs it up. We like thumbs up. Have I mentioned how much I appreciate you guys lately? If not, allow me to say, I appreciate you guys watching this stuff. I know that you guys have a lot of options on what you could be doing with your Wednesday afternoon. You could be watching Wednesday on Netflix right now if you wanted to. But no, you're here hanging out with me, so I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Let me add a bit of highlight to here. like I said, there's still plenty of time to mess this up by overworking it or something like that. I still have to add highlights to her hair, little touch-ups. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're only an hour into this. One of the other things I like about this style is that, it doesn't really take that long. We're only an hour into this, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add more shadow there, but anyway, we're only an hour into this, and it already kind of looks like her. And what's cool about that is I can totally picture, which is like my secret dream, is to go hang out at a pub or whatever and draw people. Like I'd love to draw portraits of people while they wait, So like if I got it down to like 30 minutes or 45 minutes to make a convincing portrait of somebody, to me that's awesome, because ultimately I would love to certainly go to a pub and do this. That would be cool. That would be awesome. But also, like, I don't know, Comic Cons. I'm a fan of Comic Cons. So to me, that would be kind of fun. And do portraits of people while they wait. That would be kind of cool. Or go out to Vegas and just sit on the strip or something and draw people. Or go to fairs or something like that. I don't know. I've seen other people do that, and I've always been envious. Like, oh man, that would be cool. How does somebody do a complete portrait in like 30 minutes, right? So like, I'm trying to improve my skill, but I'm also trying to reduce the amount of time so that I could live that dream. The guy out on the street painting pictures of or drawing pictures of people while they wait. That would be kind of cool. I don't think I could make a living at that, but that's the dream, right? Kind of cool. I think for somebody with black hair, like raven hair almost, charcoal is the way to go. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna worry. Well, I have to put in braids. It's like trademark brand. If you're gonna do Wednesday, you have to be prepared to make braids. And I think braids are just kind of like maybe darkening some areas and then coming back and adding highlights to them, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm not super worried about it though, because it's not like the main focus. I'm just gonna use my fingers. I'm already kind of I'm past the point of trying to keep my hands clean. That's a losing proposition at this point. Anyway, I think the braids they need to be suggested, certainly, because Wednesday Addams is known for her braids. So if you're going to draw Wednesday Addams, you need to put in braids. But also, I don't think I need to go hyper detailed on those, because they're not like the focal point. The focal point, as you can see, like when you look at this picture, you're kind of drawn to her light side of her face, and then to a lesser degree, maybe some of the other detailed areas. And the braids are not part of that equation. So I'm trying to get better at things like that in terms of like composition, you know. Trying to draw people's eyes to places that I want them to focus on. I don't want them to focus on the mistakes I put in this, right? So like I want to draw their eyes away from those by hinting at other things for them to look at, or just, take them on a journey through the picture. That's always fun. especially like with landscapes or something like that. You kind of want to give them things to look at. I don't know. You guys know how it is. We've talked about some of these things before. I think most of you guys are repeat viewers. But, you know, for posterity, say some complete stranger comes in here and is watching these things in the future. Or, you know, maybe you're trying to learn how to draw Wednesday Addams. Give people things to look at. Hide your mistakes. That's always good. Anyway, like I said, I'm not completely unhappy with this. So on this side, she's got, I'm going to call them danglies. She's got little danglies coming off. Hopefully I didn't give her too much hair. Like, hopefully I didn't give her, like, I didn't go overboard. I think this actually needs to come out a little bit more. So fortunately, she doesn't have much going on in her ear because I'm not very good at drawing ears. Come back to the mouth. So I could try and put some highlights in her lips with this kneadable eraser, but really what I need is like a fine eraser or something, which I don't have. Again, I'm on a budget here, but so the primary method in this technique that we're doing here is to use the eraser to define highlights, but I'm not above cheating. So I'm going to cheat here. And I'm going to use this white pastel pencil to come back and add some highlights in different areas that I would normally just use like an eraser. And I think I need to sharpen this actually. So give me a minute. Got my pocket knife here. So if you guys want to know what that looks like, you basically whittle your pencil. So with these pastel pencils, you don't really want to use a pencil sharpener because they're softer than like lead or graphite. I guess they don't make pencils out of lead anymore because like lead's poisonous. I don't know why they still call it lead. Anyway, point is, these pastels are sharp or softer than that, so you kind of need to use this or an X-Acto knife to sharpen your pencils so that they don't break in the pencil sharpener. So since, you know, we're only like an hour and 10 minutes into this, I don't feel bad. Plus, it's experiment day. I warned you guys at the beginning. I don't feel bad taking the time to sharpen my pencil, which I probably should have done beforehand. But anyway, I digress. Let me go back to adding highlights. So I definitely want highlights on her lips and her eyes because that's what, when you're doing a face, you got to get those parts right. People care about the mouth. They care about the eyes, and to a lesser degree, they probably care a bit about, you know, the nose. I'm not perfect at doing noses, so I should probably practice a little bit more getting noses perfect. Pencil is not one to give me really bright lights without pressing down hard, which might change the shape of her mouth. I think that's good enough. I don't want to overdo it. Let's see. So in her mouth, or her upper lip, of course, that's all her mouth. Put in some lines as well. Now, the upper part of the lip also has a bit of highlight. So I want to kind of put that in. It's just, especially on women's mouths, it's just kind of how the light hits it. There's like this ridge around the lips, and it's really nice because it helps define the shape of the mouth really well. I don't know if that's like, I don't know enough. I'm not an expert on women's mouths. For all I know, it's like lip gloss or something that causes that shine, or if it's just the natural ridge. I am neither a doctor who is good at anatomy or an expert on women. I just know that they kind of have this highlight, or a makeup expert or any of that jazz. I'm not I'm not sure why they have that highlight, but they do. All right, so I think that's decent enough for the mouth. It's a little bit stylized, but you know, I'm just happy this resembles her at all, so I'm not gonna beat myself up over that. And a little bit of black back in, just to kind of give that mouth just a little bit more shape. Anyway, so like I feel like these lips are a little bit stylized, but I'm not that worried about it because I'm just really, really happy it even resembles her. So I will take it. All right, so moving on to the eyes. Again, I don't want to do too much on this side, but I do kind of want to put in, there is a light reflection here. So I kind of want to make sure that that gets in there. And that's a bit much. I don't have a very fine point on this, but that's okay. I'll come back with black and fix it up. Anyway, there is a light reflection there, and then there's this from like, I don't know, eyes being wet. There's another like highlight here. I wish I could get this whiter. There we go. That's a little bit whiter. I don't know, just maybe some asshole or something might come through and nitpick that, but it's in the shadow, so I'm not too worried about how that looks. As long as there's a bit of an eye reflection. I think that looks nice, actually. I think that's good. Probably a little bit of white through here as well. Like I talked about before, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be convincing. And little tiny touches. At least not in my stage. Like if I was a professional artist where somebody was like actually keeping track of my progress, yeah, sure, things need to be a little bit more perfect. But I am not, and I am not also worried about it. Um, I am happy cutting corners and just going for, let's, I mean, this is a live stream. I don't want to spend 6 days trying to make it perfect, right? You guys, you guys want to see the end, right? You don't want to wait forever. So anyway, my white pastel pencils kind of sucks a little bit. Need something a little bit softer. I feel like I have to kind of scrape to get white out of it. But also I am overlaying black, so it's kind of trying to blend at the same time, which is not good. But also it gets kind of dirty, so I have to wipe it off every now and then. So she's got a very white, put my elbow in it. But that's okay. In this stylized picture, it doesn't matter if it gets smudgy. So there's a very white highlight over here on this side. And then there's a little bit of a whiteness down here at the bottom, which I guess I'll try to put in. So I need to work this just a little bit to kind of get it back to the way it was. All right. Maybe that's a little bit big. Adjust that a little bit. I feel like her pupils got really large there. So compared to this pupil over here, I feel like this one's very large. Or not pupil, iris. Yeah, whatever that's called. Man, I hope kids are not watching this for anatomy lessons. I have led people astray with my anatomy terminology here. I feel like this kind of comes up. It's not as oval shaped. And then there's a bit of a tear duct here. I'm going to try to sketch in. I want to use like light touches at this point because I don't want to mess up what I think is actually better than expected. I went about this thinking, well, I'll just experiment and have fun. I didn't expect it to actually turn out looking like her, and I think it kind of does. So I'm actually secretly pleased with this. Of course, I always am while I'm working on it, and then I'll notice like mistakes and stuff later. But that's not now. Right now, it's a point in time where I'm like, it's actually good enough. Use my eraser for this bit. There should be a bit of a softer edge on that nose. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. But to me, and it looks a little bit darker on screen than it actually is in real life. But that's okay. To me, pretty happy with it. Now, this is the part where we screwed up. So I take my eraser, and again, I kind of want it to be a little bit stylized. So I take my eraser, I form this like this kind of edge to it, almost like a chisel, and then I come back over my work, and I just kind of stylize it a little bit. Just to kind of get some streaks going. It's not changing it very much, but in a subtle way, making it a little bit more expressive. Just kind of put in some random lines through it. So you could call that hair, you could call it just madness, whatever you want, but I think it's cool. It's kind of like when I do the watercolors and I just throw in random spots or whatever. I am not interested in perfection on this picture. It's meant to be an experiment, so kind of put in some highlight up here for her part and kind of bring it a little bit together up there. So I kind of like that. I think that's cool. I definitely need a new kneadable eraser. This thing is like yuck. It's got charcoal all over it, and I've only done like 2, 3 pictures, so I feel like I don't know if you're a professional artist doing charcoal all the time, you should really stock up on these kneadable erasers because you're going to be going through them a lot. Or you should be at least because they get yucky really quick. I want to put a little bit of a highlight in here. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. So, kind of lost my refracted light over here, so I kind of want to put that back in. Kind of smooth this upper lip out. It looks like she has a milk mustache right now. But I think we're getting close to calling it done-ish. put some, her shirt doesn't, her shirt stops where the collar is, so it should all be dark here. And I kind of want her tie coming out. Yeah, happy with that. Anyway, just a suggestion of a tie. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do think it does, you know, I think it's done enough. I'm going to call it done, especially since we've had so many technical issues and all that. I'm going to call this picture done and count my blessings that the stream even happened at all. But look at my desk. It's got all this crap over here. Look at my hands. Ugh, that's nasty. This eraser, like, it's hard to see because the lighting sucks, but it is covered in soot, right? I love it. This is the kind of art I want to be creating, where it's just messy. People just getting gross with it. I can't stop tinkering with things. Just kind of want to, because like there's actually a separation between the braid and her face, so I kind of want to just hint at that a little bit. And also on this side. Anyway, I'm done. I need to stop. All right. Yeah, you're right. The weather is nice. I should be out getting some sun. So I'm going to do that. We're going to call this done. Let me wipe my hands off here so that I can switch views. Let me go back to, so the reference art is this. And a lot more highlight on that than what I've got. And what I've got is this. And if you go back to the beginning, it was a big mess at first. So like, that's kind of cool. That we were able to get a face at all, and that's kind of what I wanted to demonstrate. So like, you got all this mess going on in there that you've introduced through charcoal, but then you can still pull a face out of it. And if you watch some of my recent videos, that's kind of what I've been doing, and I like it. It's a lot of fun. So I think I'm going to continue trying to do that with future pictures. Maybe not everyone. Oh, thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. I've got a dog that I want to do probably like on Friday, unless I, get a wild hair up my butt and want to do something else. So I will be doing more of that kind of stuff. But as far as like, just experimenting and becoming a better artist, I'm enjoying doing this kind of stuff. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching it. Again, sorry about the technical issues earlier in the stream. I mean, I think my camera cut out. Well, my camera was on a huge lag, completely cut out. There was no audio for the first couple of minutes. So I should stop trying to improve my artwork and improve my streaming capabilities. But anyway, we'll work on that. I'll get better at it. In the meantime, I'm going to post this up so that you guys can see it as I see it, and go from there. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys watching. Probably see you guys Friday, unless some other technical issues come up. So in the meantime, have a good one.